some things never change. I'm feeling heavy walking into the light. Guess this just ain't my day tonight. It's everything we are, babe. It's all packed up, my dear. Who's in my heart, babe, if you don't live here? Who is the ghost in my house? Thought it was all staged out. Now I'll have to say I'm you away. And who is the ghost in my house? Had all the man laid out. The imprint of a page who would fade away. Who is the ghost in my house?
All right. We're good.
We already have our stress paper here ready to go.
Fluff that out.
No, you
We'll
don't
need it for this
understand
topic.
What I'm saying.
You understand, man? Trump is going to save the world. Oh, we're already kicked off TikTok Live. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there goes. See ya.
Buzzword.
New record.
All right. Well, first, let
Anyway.
me introduce you. So, Chace. Do you still go by Chace?
Yeah.
Okay. Chace Rains.
Yeah, Robert's a dumb name.
Well, I saw it on your Facebook, and I was like, damn, maybe I know the old Chace.
No, it's because I locked it down so nobody can find me. You got to know I'm Robert.
Yeah. Hey, I like it. I wouldn't even be on Facebook if it wasn't for my job.
Dude, same.
I fucking hate it.
It's very toxic.
Especially relating to what we were just speaking on, which is politics.
Yeah.
Like it's. I'm convinced that Facebook was created for propaganda. I mean, it's a propaganda machine.
That's all it is, yeah.
It's good at it.
And
too.
now whether it was purposely created for that or whether that's what it was, became after,
Yeah.
that's semantics anyway, because it is what it is now,
it's working.
Whether Zuckerberg's innocent of creating it for that reason to begin with, or whether it was forcibly, I don't know, human corruption degrades everything, I think,
Yeah.
and that's just a,
Oh, it's inevitable.
and honestly, that kind of plays into this thematically. What I talk about right now is I think that what we're seeing and what we're experiencing as Americans, more than any kind of political shift or anything, can literally be attributed to just natural entropy. Breaks down over time.
Yeah.
The longer that people are involved with it, the more corrupt and everything institutions become, we're just on a precipice. Everything is breaking down. It's not just one system.
No.
And that's entropy. That's not design. That's how the universe works. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
If you tear it down today and rebuild it tomorrow, the next day it'll crumble
That's right.
again.
That's right. Entropy never
That's
stops.
how this country got started to begin with. It's just it's
Ashes and fire.
yeah. Well, what I was gonna say, the number one thing that had me like maybe I like Trump is that I saw people that I know for a fact are demons. These fucking blood-sucking, corrupt pieces of shit politicians that hate his guts. Now, is it theater? Maybe.
Who knows?
I'm not, you go down the deep conspiracy trail. I don't know.
Right.
Is it 4D chess? It could be. I don't know. They're fucking
It's
capable of it. I know that. But the fact that they were so repulsed by him and like,
Yeah.
I've heard him say things that I know for a fact they're not cool with. Like, hey, you should make it to where politicians can't become a lobbyist later on down there.
Yeah, that's a rule that we should all be behind.
No wonder
that's a major problem.
No wonder somebody almost split his wig with a 5.56. Like, you can't say shit like that.
That's because the lobby's where the real money's at. That's where the real power. And that's I think when people talk about crony capitalism, a lot of things that is not brought up. As far as in my groups, everybody wants to go to specific politicians that are holding a seat in Senate or the House or something like that.
Yeah.
It's the personnel directors. It's the people that were high up in positions that leave those government positions and then become a lobbyist. They still have the same access and the same ear, but now they're corporate shills. Mm-hmm. And that's a major problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's the source. Like, oh, why is everything fucked up? Oh, because it's being driven by.
Right. We've been talking about a presidential campaign that's going to happen this November for 2 full years of a presidential term because presidential campaigns are worth $400 billion.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of money. And it's important. More important to them probably than it is us.
Way more. You know? Because you can't have campaign money without campaigns. And I promise you, I bet nothing snorts better than campaign. You know.
Oh, hell yeah. Bro,
can you imagine that campaign money Colombian? Boy, that goes
that
down
hill's
smooth.
deep.
Yeah.
That's that Tony Montana shit.
Goes straight to the neck.
It would be spilling off this table right now if you had that.
Yeah.
That supply. Yeah. Wow. It's crazy we went straight into politics. But I mean, look,
warmed up a little bit.
It's the season, you know?
Yeah, I know it, dude. Anyway.
Oh, fuck. I hate it. I've been dreading it the last 4 years knowing it was coming up.
No
just
shit.
like, fuck, that's going to suck to go through that again.
Yep.
Well, shit. Okay, so me and you knew each other when we were children. You were, I think, I don't know how much older you are than me, but
I'm 38 now.
Okay, I'm 33.
Yeah, so
that sounds right.
Yeah, so I was between 12 and 16 probably. I think 12 and 15.
Yeah. We grew up across the street from each other. I think I was 11 when we moved away from that house, so we lived there for 4 years, so
yeah, I think you were 5 or 6 when we first started hanging. Y'all were young.
Yeah.
It was like
bro, I learned so much.
I didn't have any friends.
Being your neighbor about
all kinds of stuff. Yeah, probably no business knowing about.
No business, but it had to happen.
Yeah.
And so,
and I got to play video games. That was my reward.
Yeah, fuck Blitz, football, fucking.
Yeah, you had all the fucking cool games.
Yeah,
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
That was an interesting time. I think about that era of my life a lot. You know, just with music.
Yeah,
man, actually, I would say living in that house was some of the most influential time musically for me. Because we're it's late 90s, so it still got a 90s vibe. You know, it hadn't quite went to the 2000s pop fucking, you know.
Screamo light.
Yeah. Yeah, it still had the 90s vibe. Fucking, yeah, I music's been very influential. It probably isn't everybody's life, but very influential in my life with I swear to God, who I am, who I want to dress like, it's all influenced by music.
Yeah, same. Yeah, me too. Yeah, more than movies or TV ever.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I think there is a difference. Some people are influenced more by their visual media, but it's always been the words and the beat for me.
Yeah.
Sure.
When did music? Well, let me ask this for people that don't know you. What do you do?
So I wear a lot of hats. I think I'm a dad. I'm a musician, and I'm doing pretty well. I'm not doing pretty well. I'm working to do better in that arena. And then I own a small business doing telecom. So business technology stuff. I work on all that. But as far as a musician, that's my main. On my tax, as far as taxes go, it's been 40% of my income for the last 3 years. So
it's what I do.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Yeah.
When did you get into music, playing music?
Well, so I come from a long line of musicians. I'm like a 5th or 6th generation live performer. So when I was real young, I had vocal lessons and I sang with my grandparents' band. And then during my teenage years, I didn't really engage with music. And then when I was, in my early 20s, 21, I was living with this guy from Texarkana named Colt Baker. And I think when you grow up in a musical household like that, it's so ubiquitous. You don't really see it as this special thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think it wasn't a big deal to me for people to play music.
Yeah.
And so living with Colt and seeing the way the people interacted with him as a musician made me realize, oh, hey, it's actually cool that I can do this. I was really so preoccupied with women. That was one of my biggest, I think a real hallmark of my life is my inability to see past womanizer. You know, I've got some mother issues, whatever. It all translated into me being a prolific womanizer, and I'm very not proud of my past. I've done a lot of terrible things in the name of making out with a girl, and I'm not proud of that. But that show, it showed me that music. Also, I watched Colt make his rent every month playing. He didn't have to do shit else but play Friday and Saturday, and his rent was made.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's... yeah.
Money for
a young man, he's
I
like,
get
okay,
it. Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah. And they give you alcohol the whole time. And so it just, I started there, and then I was terrible for a long time. And then in my late 20s, I kind of got a little better. And then I had kids. I got married and had kids in my late 20s. I took about a 3-year break, good 3-year break. Dang, I'm old.
Yeah, I have those moments often where I'm like, fuck, that was then?
Yeah.
Because it feels like, it's like in your head, it stays a certain amount of time away.
Yeah.
And you go, that was actually
no,
15
yeah.
years ago?
Wait, it's not
That wasn't 2 years ago?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been active again since I was about 33. So in the last 5 years, I've experienced some true growth. In the last 2 years, thanks to my state mandated sobriety from alcohol, I have seen a exponential growth, and that's been great. It has proved to me that the sobriety, I was fighting it in a way I didn't even know until after. So I'm proud of the last 2 years, but also, derisively,
Yeah.
you got to fuck up to find out. And
Yeah.
That's what happened.
You got to break some eggs.
That's right.
So when did would you call your music country?
I try very hard not to.
Because it's not like, I don't know.
It kind of depends on who's playing with me a
Yeah.
lot. The tracks that I have out on Spotify right now, that EP, some of it is reminiscently country. I think that you can tell that it's not necessarily a popular modern take on it.
yeah.
But
Which is a breath of fresh air.
yeah, which I hope is caught. I think that I definitely have some more rock songs, and I have some songs that are also way more country. So I kind of
Ebb and flow with that.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm lucky enough that now my band that I have, my drummer's been like a home player for a long time, but he does not listen to country music. He's never heard any of the songs that we cover on purpose. So he approaches it from a what's that band? 21 Pilots. Mm-hmm. That's his favorite band. It's 21 Pilots.
Okay.
So he drums like that guy to my music. Yeah. And that makes it more of a, I don't know, it comes across more like a soul blues type of rock thing than anything else.
Right.
I think. And it helps. It's real groovy. And I love it. It's able to be, a lot of people in this region play the same 40 songs. We don't.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that, but when they do understand it, it hits like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, so how old were you when you started playing shows for real? Like
for real,
you do
for
now?
real? Probably 24.
Okay.
I played with a band here. I started a band here in Texarkana around that time called Booze Hound. I was still playing bass and singing then. I started out as a bass player. My uncle was a bass player. My grandmother's a bass player. And I was playing and singing in that band with a guy named Chad Solly, and then a guy that used to live here. His name is Jared Reed. There may be some people that still know Jared Reed. I think he's still active in Tennessee, but he was our drummer. And we were Jared had been touring. He'd been on the Warp Tour with this band called Rocket Queen for like 3 years. And they're a punk act, a hardcore punk act, like 300 beats a minute. Every song. But Jared also did like the same, they had like a stage show, right? Jared did the same stick trick during the same song at the same point of the night, every night for 3 years. He was a machine.
Yeah.
But he's also a punk drummer. So we were playing songs, like we were playing these Jason Boland tunes, but we were playing them at like 280.
He's like a caged animal. Let
dude,
me out.
It was like thrash country, man. Like we were playing fast, and nobody was ready for it. There was this place called Club Next. It was about the only gig we could get, and they loved us. But also they would put us on the lineup with like bands like Toe Cutter and Jaguar Shark, and then we come in as Booze Hound, and like we're playing these country tunes, and nobody, you can't even tell they're country. It's like, oh, what the fuck is going on? So yeah, those are like $50 a man shows. So that's where we started. You know, that's the genesis.
So when you left from our neighborhood where we grew up together, where did you go from there?
So, wow. For a little bit, I went to foster care.
Really?
Yeah, for about 6 months. So that's kind of a screwed up deal. Like when that went down, since my dad lived in Texas, or my dad was living on the Arkansas side, even though it's 6 blocks into Arkansas, whatever, he's still on the Arkansas side. My mom lived in Texas. There's not, like, since those two states don't share a lot of information, it was really hard for them to award me back to my mother just because of paperwork crap. So what ended up happening is they took me away from my dad. They put me in foster care for like 6 months while they figured out all the crap. We went to court like 4 times, and then they had to go do a home study on my mom. Even though there wasn't any history of anything there, that's just how it works when it's state to state. It was the most ridiculous thing. But then I went to Clarksville, Texas. This is where I graduated from, is in Clarksville, where I live now.
That makes sense why I didn't see you for so long.
Yeah. I was hiding.
Yeah.
You know, I bounced. I did some other stuff, but like I've been in Clarksville the majority of my life.
So how long after like high school did you move back here?
Let's see. The first time I moved back to Texarkana was when I was about 21 or so. I came back because I got a job. It's when I was plumbing, and we got a job to put some air pipe in out here at the Army Depot. I was actually living in New Braunfels, working on the river. I had a great job down there working on the Guadalupe, boy.
Yeah.
To be 21 on the river again. But I came back up here for that pipe job, and during it, they hired us at the Army Depot just to come on full time after that. And so I came back for that job. Probably the worst mistake of my life, I feel like. That's if there's anything I could say I regret, and I really still don't regret it, but the one thing that I wish I kind of would have done a little. I should have went back to New Braunfels.
Yeah.
But whatever. I thought at that time, you know, a job at the Army Depot was a daddy job.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I was like,
You made it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I hated that book. I made it, like I said, about a year, and I walked off of it. I hated it.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. My spirit cannot survive that way. Like the only taste of it I ever got was, I worked 2 jobs. It's like assembly line. Fuck it. It was it JCM? Welding.
Yeah. I put a bunch of speakers up in there. Yeah.
I was TIG welding there on stainless. And then before that, though, I started like Mayo right out of high school. My cousin like put in a good word for me. I got a job out there. Oh my God.
What do they do?
I didn't
out there?
last 2 weeks. They fucking build couches. It's Mayo furniture.
Oh.
I was doing the upholstery on ottomans. But I was kind of experimenting with things at the time, so I probably wasn't the best worker anyway. I'm not saying I was a fucking great employee. I'm just saying I fucking hated the job.
Yeah, no shit, yeah.
But yeah, it's that like fucking bell rings, you go to fucking lunch, and you better be back when when the whistle blows. It was just
Well, like JCM, I'm sure it was cool for like
Yeah, it
4
wasn't
or
bad.
5 months, but
Yeah.
also even it's going to get old.
it's
The only thing to be cool about that is they do so much giant shit out there.
Yeah.
You know, some of those, also if you're the right kind of nerd, it's a bunch of math.
yeah.
But-
Well, it's something about being stuck in your little station
Dude, yeah.
all fucking day, same
bullshit.
thing, same walls, same. Like even when I was working a normal job, the ones that I liked the most was like I did electrical for quite a long time, and just being able to see new shit,
Yeah.
go town to town, like go to new jobs, like it feels new.
Even though
you
you're
know?
doing the same thing, I'm at a
Yeah.
different place and I got to solve a different problem while I'm there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always excelled in the trade, plumbing, and that's what got me into telecom too. Is that it was something a little different.
You
every
deal
day.
with fiber?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I did that at Nance.
Oh really?
Yeah, my wife's brother, he was a big data guy. He was their main data guy over at Nance, and he did like big jobs. I went with him we did the city of Longview for like the better part of a year.
Yeah, they put in all their backline, but that was for let's see, who'd they turn that up for? That's
Pine,
Pine. Was it? No, it was Netex, wasn't it?
well, it was for the school district. It was
Oh,
for
Pine Creek or
Pine Street or Pine something. Anyways, we blew fiber. It was that air blown fiber, and we blew it all over the fucking town. Yeah,
yeah, with a big parachute.
It was so interesting
cool,
learning that shit.
Yeah,
I had
you didn't
no
know
idea.
they could seal a pipe off like that, did you? That's
Bro,
cool. Yeah,
it was. I mean, I think the longest blow. I don't remember the numbers.
blow.
The longest
Title of your
blow
sex
we
tape,
did. We did several blows.
Sometimes I do 2 blows a day.
Bro, it was dude, funny story. I worked with this guy. We worked for, like I said, my wife's brother. He knows what the fuck he's doing. We're the fucking idiots, you know.
Right,
he's teaching us as we go. And you have a pan of fiber, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this pan is worth like, I don't know, 10 grand at least. And you have to blow it from station to station, and when you spool it up in that pan, well, you have a guy at the other end who's like collecting the fiber and making sure it spirals up in the thing, so you can flip it and get the other end of it.
Exactly.
Because you're literally across town. It's one
It's got to be
strand of
unbroken
fiber.
strand. Yep, that's right.
So we have these manholes, and like we'll be at one end with the drill shooting it this way, and he's at the other end putting it in the pan. And you're communicating through radio. Well, the radios were dead, so we're doing it by phone. His phone goes dead. My brother-in-law, he's like, the phone went dead, and he's like, fuck. I was like, oh, we lost him. And he was like, he stops, he goes, should we? He's like, he's kind of mad. He's like, fucking phone's dead.
Yeah,
like now we got to stop the whole thing, go down there and figure out how we're going to communicate. He's like, you think I should just keep going? We don't have much. I was like, fuck it, bro. We get done. We get down to the manhole, and there's fiber every fucking
It just
where.
blew up on him.
Because if it gets out of like, you don't get that loop right, it's gone. There's no fucking.
Gone. And it's almost impossible to get it back without pulling it just
a miracle.
Yeah.
And I will take all the credit. We're trying to figure out how, like, just think about.
You just got to take off walking with it. You just got to pick one spot.
Well, it's like knotted up from it just. And so I was like, hold on.
Itself.
Think of it as a knot. I was like, let's take this pan and literally follow it back through each fucking loop until you're. And that's what we did. It took fucking forever.
Hours,
And some of it was like kinking, and we're like, fuck, it's fucked. That's $10,000 worth of fiber we just kinked. It worked. By the end, what's crazy is we do the whole job just not knowing if when we get to the end, if it's going to terminate and it's going to pass the test.
Of course you did.
And you're just like, you did all this work, and you're like, your fingers are crossed.
I hope it shoots. Or I hope if it doesn't shoot, it shoots into a slack coil. I hope it shoots dead center of a slack coil.
It was, dude, I wish I had video of that day, because it was.
I've been in.
And the time it was not funny.
I've had several poor hands that, especially, there's a couple of times where we pulled into like interior closets, because I was doing that, but I was doing basically last mile runs for Spectrum in Dallas, where instead of pulling all the way through the city, we would start at the splice can you stopped at and pull from there into the building to where it ended in the building, right? So sometimes it might be 1,400 feet, and then once you get in the building, you might pull through 3 closets in that building to get to where you're going.
Right.
It had to be unbroken just like that. Man, I've walked in on hands, and it looks like the closet's half full of fiber, where they just were pulling it out, letting it just go in a circle, and they can't even walk out. And you're like, well, where's the tip at? And they point to the corner over there. Okay, well, I don't know where we're going to put all this now, so way to go. And then you're in people's offices like, hang on, here's this armored fiber coming through. Watch out. But they're not happy.
That conventional is a bitch to pull. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like freaking Spectrum, to pull into a building that's going to get they're going to use 2 pieces of glass. They were pulling 48 count armored. So it's like this big around, and its bend radius is like, 18 inches.
Yeah.
It won't even go through a 90. You know? I hate
and you're pulling it through ceiling tiles.
Yeah.
Like, dude, my shoulders were jacked.
You don't even need
year.
a fish rod. You can just push the fiber.
Oh, man.
Anyway, hey, we didn't know we were going to get on that.
Hey, fiber.
Also,
better than politics.
Yeah. Also, Nance, call me. I need some work. I'll sub for you.
They still doing it. They're still rocking it.
Yeah, they're a big company.
Yeah, my buddy.
And they're in a good spot too, because they're turnkey construction, and that's one of the best spaces in the industry to live, because you get all the good work. You don't have to do no troubleshooting.
Dude.
You don't have to operate the plant after, because plant operation is where every company fails.
It was fun. If I didn't have me and my old lady were together then, I still call her my old lady. It's my wife now. We got married in October. She'll fucking kill me if she hears this. Old lady. But we were together, and so living on the road, dude, it's
terrible, son.
at first it's fun. You're like, oh, cool, new city, fucking
But
like when they
6
sent us to
weeks.
Ohio, to Denver, and like you're driving everywhere. It's cool, but nah, dude, living in a fucking hotel room with not just another man, because that's bad enough.
Right.
You got to smell his fucking shits in the morning. You got to fucking, I mean, think about it. You go to work with somebody and they get on your nerves. Imagine, all right,
And then
now
you
we're going to
gotta
go
go to a
sleep in the same room.
Yeah, not just to a house together,
Nah,
to a
share a room.
8 by 10 cell, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's horrible. I
It's
got
terrible.
drunk a lot. I got drunk so much, and I hung out outside the hotel just fucking drinking beer because I don't want to be in the room.
Hating my life, yeah.
But on top of that, it's not just some dude you work with, it's also your brother-in-law.
Yeah, amen. Hey, yeah.
Fuck, dude.
To add the insult to injury.
And I like the guy, but fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't then, I'll tell you that. I was fucking over it.
I hired my buddy Marco, and we were, and I didn't know that motherfucker had severe sleep apnea. And he was an all right roommate, other than I'm a pretty light sleeper, and that motherfucker was literally dying 8 times a night.
The whole
And I
night
was
you're just concerned for his
waking-
health. Like, oh, fuck, I don't think he's going to wake up.
I was like, Marco, we got to do something different, dude, because I'm dying. of
You
sleep,
need a
lack of
CPAP
sleep. Yeah,
machine.
dude, you got to do something, man. I'd rather listen to that than listen
Hell
to you
yeah.
die
That's
5
white
times a
noise
minute.
compared to what you're fucking putting out of your nostrils right now.
It's like when your brain is waking you up going, hey, your friend hadn't breathed in 35 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah. When my brain has to tell me your brain ain't fucking registering, you're not breathing.
Something's wrong, Marco. Like, we got to do something. It's not this.
I don't know how you
tenable.
did that. I would have had to quit. I'm pretty sure because I'm a light sleeper too. Like that shit would have fucked with me.
Well, yeah, and also my son was like 6 months old, so I was also in like extreme dad mode too, to top it off. So like even if he rolled over and stopped breathing, I was,
Yeah.
my baby's dying. Oh no, that's Marco. God damn it, Marco.
It's dramatic. Yeah, dude. Fuck that life. But I bet if you're like a single guy, you're young. Yeah. And
they're
you're
paying
fucking
you enough.
partying.
That's the deal. But also it goes back to what you're saying. If they're paying you enough that you're able to get super fucked up every night to deal with the loneliness, but also still have money in the bank after doing that, then maybe it's worth it. But I promise you, still, that shit gets. I mean, they're
Well, then you got to balance going off the rails, but not going off the rails too much
to lose your job. Well, that's why every pipeliner you meet when he comes into town is like raging out because that's how he has to live his life to survive. You know,
He's like
poor buddies. You know?
he's like a veteran who just came back from fucking Afghanistan.
yeah.
He's just
They've been trying to kill me. They drop a pipe on me in the ditch, and then he beats your ass. It's like, dude, you were talking to my girlfriend.
how is this my fault?
Yeah, like dude, therapy, bro.
I never did that job. Pipeline.
Me neither. I ain't built for that shit. I knew just from my little experiences being on the road as a telecom guy, I'm not a fucking roughneck.
Hell no.
No, I ain't built for that. Also, when I graduated high school, I was like $140. So they would have killed me. They would have just ate me like a goat. You know what I mean? I would have just ended up lunch one day.
Yeah. Man, it's so funny because now having a job that I fucking love doing and it's fun and like I don't even feel like it's a job necessarily. Like I feel like I've cheated. A lot of times I'll hear, and I was there most of my life. I didn't start tattooing until I was 30. But I hear people talk about their regular jobs and I'm just like, you poor fucking son of a bitch. Like, I'm like, and but I was there. Like that's what drove me to do what I'm doing now was I was just like, I you can ask my wife. Like it probably drove her nuts, but like no matter what job I ended up doing, I was just like, this ain't it. She's like, well, what fucking is it?
Right.
You know,
Well,
like,
I don't know.
and I get it.
Yeah.
And I sympathize with you. You know, I understand that's like, well, what the fuck are you going to do? And I'm like, I don't fucking know.
I'm going to make money somehow, but
Yeah.
like it's going to be something, yeah.
I just always knew that the 9-to-5 thing, like just everything, the politics involved with working for a company, big or small, because they're there. It's just, we're not cut out humans. Maybe some are. I'm not. my fucking rebellious spirit, I cannot fucking deal
Ain't
with
for me. No, hell no. I grew up with plenty of discipline. I don't need no more.
I'm not a bootlicker.
No,
I'm not a and so my personality work wise, I'm very like nose down, do my fucking job, and I want my work to speak for itself. You know what I mean? Well, you go to like one of these big corporations or something. No.
That ain't how
It's
it
all
works.
about who plays the best game,
right.
who kisses the most ass, who makes the right moves. And I'm just like, can I just do my shit and go home?
And go home. No, you can't. You
It's
can't.
like, well, yeah, you're out working everybody, but we don't like that you said, this. We don't.
Who cares?
You're not playing the game. And I'm like,
I don't
fuck
wanna
the
play.
game.
Yeah,
I just want the
amen.
money.
Yeah.
I don't even want the fucking money. I want to go somewhere else. But yeah, so I really do. I don't think anybody's cut out for that shit. I don't know.
I think society trains you to be like that, and we're obviously all trained for it.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what I mean?
conditioned.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a psychedelic experience, you quickly realize that's the case. You're like, oh, this is all a fucking ruse, dude. This is
sham.
not real. This is.
None of it. Nothing else does matter. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn it, Metallica.
Nothing else matters.
Stop being so forward thinking.
So,
I'm tripping on this last fungus picture behind you, this Mario picture, dude.
oh, dude, isn't that sick?
I love it.
Yeah, I love the like day and night version of it. The night version's the coolest.
Oh, I didn't even notice
Well,
that one.
It's
What is that? Like a
what was that series?
Oh man.
The Last of Us.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what it's referencing. Yeah, with the mushroom headed guy.
Oh, the last fungus. Oh, dummy. Okay.
So that's an artist. He's a tattoo artist. He was on Ink Master. His name's well, they called him Creepy Jason. But he's got sick art. He does
What
like
a
new
great
school.
moniker.
Hell yeah. Wonder why they call him that.
God.
He prefers tattooing women.
Easy there, Weinstein.
Just kidding. I don't think that's true.
And there with the TikTok live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. It's been a good night. All right. We made it fucking 31 minutes.
Amen.
Speaking of Stein, did you hear that? Fucking Trump claims he's going to release the Epstein list.
Really?
That's what he claims.
It doesn't.
But also, what does that
even
have to do with
exist?
being president?
Well, nothing. Absolutely nothing. How is that even part of your platform?
He's good at playing to his crowd, though.
Dude. Yeah.
Nobody
You gotta
does
give
it
him
better.
that. No, exactly.
He could have been a comedian.
And his crowd, especially his hardcore crowd, is
God bless him.
scarily weaponized. You know, like he's you,
Dude, there are
regardless of any
lunatics.
affiliation one way or another. You got to give the machine up. You got to give credit what it's due. You know.
Me and my cousin talk about this all the time. There's not enough middle of the road people.
No.
Do you know who Dave Smith is? Comedian. He's libertarian. He is like my ideal mindset for like a politician. He's just like very objective, very logical thinking, very like if he criticizes this about these people, it's not because he's a fucking Trumper. It's
Right.
not. It's just like, objectively, that seems like the right move.
Right.
And there's not enough of that in this world. And I'm surrounded by people that are that way. Like, even if they're fucking Republicans, it's like they have to go all in. They double down.
Yeah.
On-
And it doesn't need to be like that.
No.
You know, I consider
You are the
myself,
thing you hate.
Yeah,
You are the thing you hate.
Yeah, every time you do that. I consider myself a Bush era Republican, which now is a liberal, whether you want to like
So
it
you
or
believe
not.
in weapons of mass destruction? Chase WMD Rains.
That's right. Hey, we went to Iraq for a reason, and it was
Well, we grew up with that.
oh,
you
yeah.
know? That's what
Yeah.
we know to be a Republican.
Dude, they were talking about a draft the year I was, 2004, the year I graduated, is the last time they were talking about a draft, But as far as what I mean by that is, there used to be, like you said, a place for moderation. And over time, I think back to the propaganda machine that Facebook has become and that social media, that we didn't really, I think, know we were getting into that in the way that we are, but we've stuck our foot in it. And it's caused this polarization where once you get on any particular hill, you have to die on it. And that's not how it should be, man. Attaching this much value to any one person
or to a thought
is
like an idea. Like, you are not your thoughts. Go read some Ram Dass, motherfucker.
something.
Like,
Yeah.
you know.
That's
but
how-
seriously,
what you get is the Crusades. You know, you're gonna
yep,
what you
us against them.
the same kind of religious and political dogma that they're breeding right now on some of the more extreme stuff is the same kind of thinking that Bin Laden employed to get people to follow him that ended up on any kind of attack terrorist. Like
Absolutely.
it's the same. It's a very slippery slope. Is all I'm saying.
Ideology,
Oh,
I guess.
yes.
You know,
Yes.
like, yeah.
And then it feeds into weaponized incompetence. It's what the sad thing is because the people that get snowed over by that are the people that are just looking for something to latch onto.
Right.
They don't care what it is.
Right.
Anyway,
A guy I know made a post the other day. I just see so much shit where I'm like, what are we doing? Like, quit feeding the fucking machine. He said something about at this point, I'm convinced if you vote for Trump, then you have an IQ below 50 and I forget the other statement. But I was just like, what a broad generalization.
Yeah.
Like, what a way to just wrap something up. But what's hilarious is this guy's, I would say, pretty woke, and everything that they criticize is like they're against anyone generalizing a group of people. And it's
Right.
like, you are
But
literally
that's what you're
doing the
doing.
fucking thing
Yeah.
that you say you hate
That's
that they
right.
do. And it's like,
it can't be both ways for either side. And that's what
No.
you see a lot of is that, again, there's no compromise. That's a word that is forgotten in
Yeah.
American politics. It
yeah,
is
you either
compromise.
are or you
Or
ain't,
you're not.
motherfucker.
Yeah, and that's
You're-
not
It's-
how it needs to be. And
I
also,
don't know.
and I just want to say this. For a party that built its reputation on minding your own business, they're pretty bad at doing that.
it's comical.
Yeah. Well,
But it's comical on both ends. Like,
It
there's
is.
just shit where, like,
it's so polarized.
when the
It's-
whole what was that kid's name? The fucking Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw the shit that I'm talking about being done on the right side, it was when that all went down, and you saw people coming out saying shit like, well, good, like basically like praising that he fucking blew somebody's brains out
Right.
in the fucking streets. It's like, whoa. You can be like, he had the right to defend himself. You don't have to double
Laud
down.
him, yeah. But by the same time, on the same token, you had people on the other side call him to take his head off. And
Yeah.
it's like that's also not what that's
Yeah,
not what
in the
you've
name
been
of
saying.
peace.
Yeah, like not
It's like, what are we doing?
pick a lane because now you're saying you're for capital punishment. We've been against that. As far as you want to talk about,
Yeah, it's upside down and on its head. It's just
which again back to that original thing of entropy. It's just everything's breaking down.
Do you think in history times were ever this, I don't know, chaotic? And I don't mean, I know that there were huge wars, people fucking, look, arguably there was much worse times. People were fucking starving to death.
Right.
Cannibalism
That's
because
bullshit.
the
Yeah.
fucking Stalin starved them to death. Like,
Right.
arguably there was much worse times, but I mean chaotic in the sense of like,
I don't think so because I think what's contributing, I think that it's kind of it's a thing where the world has always been this chaotic. The difference is that now there's a fucking camera on every street
you're
corner.
inundated with it.
Yeah.
It's
You
not
can't get
happening
away from
behind
it.
closed doors.
Exactly.
You know
what I
about
mean?
it all.
All this stuff was always going on. Now people are getting more and more comfortable with platforms. People are having platforms to talk about stuff. And there's literally a camera in everybody's pocket on every street corner, in
Right.
every building. You can't get away from it. Is it that it was chaotic or is it just that we see it for what it is now? And also, again, back to minding your own business. Until we had this technology in our pocket where we could look at this magic mirror and see what we wanted to see, we didn't care.
It is a black mirror, by the way.
Ignorance is bliss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it is. I think about that a lot because I think about people that I know that, look, I like conspiracies. I don't believe in all of them.
Right.
But I find them interesting.
They're always fun.
They're fun, like little
Brain exercises.
Yeah, brain exercises. But I think about people that aren't into that shit, and I'm like, man, how blissful to just like Just like,
Never even
I don't know. Why would
Yeah.
you even think about that? I don't know.
Exactly.
Who cares? It doesn't affect my life. And in a way, they're right. Now, I could make the argument that, like, hey, don't you want to know that, like, the fucking train's about to go off the rails? But at the same time, what good's he gonna do?
I mean, yeah, because I'm not the conductor and I can't stop. I ain't big. I'm not big enough to stop it from going off. So, like, man, just let me die and let me not see the car until the headlights are in my window. You know, like, fuck.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
And I'm in. You know, like, yeah, I sometimes am envious of people. You know, whether it's the ADHD or just the intake of knowledge, whatever. I don't like knowing all the time. It's exhausting.
Oh, it's exhausting, dude. That's what me and my wife are very different in that way. Like, she's a very, like, I envy her mindset. Like, how she can just, like, I'm just spastic, dude. I'm just like, my brain, I'm thinking about ancient civilizations. I'm thinking about the Nephilim. I'm thinking about tattooing. And I don't mean I'm just kind of casually thinking about it. I am obsessed, bro. I'm like, I'm going to get this guy on the podcast. Oh, babe, don't you think it'd be cool if I didn't even think about this guy. Wouldn't that be a cool like, dude, I'm fucking everywhere.
In a moment.
But I'll tell you exactly what it is I'm an addict. And now I addict to my, the things that I find interesting.
Yeah.
And that's probably what led me to be, to have substance abuse problems, was I wasn't exercising that,
Do you have ADHD? Have you got a diagnosis or anything like that? Have you tried to?
I haven't
just
been
out of
diagnosed.
curiosity?
I've always thought maybe I'm ADD because I have always had like this. It's hard for me to focus on shit I don't want to do.
You talk about the addictive parts of your personality. I don't. I think back to what we were kind of talking about, the 12-step program. I think referring to yourself as an addict is another ploy they use to kind of break yourself down. I think
to make sense of why you are the way you are.
When really what it is kind of like I found out with alcohol, it's a direct response to your ADHD, just like nicotine. It's a direct response to what's already going on with the chemical. It's not this fucking personality trait or a disease.
Right.
It's a symptom of
you.
something else. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
So, it took me, I got diagnosed when I was real young, and then I had to go get re-diagnosed. I'm about to go back again because, that book changes a lot. So, because now they tell me that I'm AUDHD, which is like, as they find out more about autism.
Is that hold on? Is that like the new addition to the LGBTQ thing?
A little bit. I mean, a little bit. A little bit is kind of like that. You find different dicks everywhere.
All right, new letters.
Yeah. This
new
one shoots
genders.
both ways. But it basically means what they're telling me now is that there are, ADHD is like a cycle, kind of like a menstrual cycle. And the parts of my menstrual cycle where I'm the most ADHD, I'm technically autism light for 6 days a month, right? Where there are some days where it's way worse.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This is fucking.
Yeah.
Hold on, you just blew my fucking mind. I guess I didn't realize that they have gone this in depth on, like,
Trying to figure it out.
Wow, that's cool. I love psychology, by the way.
Dude,
It is.
Well, and really, the opiate crisis exposed a lot of it too. Like,
So do they think it's hormone driven?
there's evidence I think to support that. I'm not going to quote anything because I'm not, but there's some evidence I think to support that. It definitely, after reading that and gaining some insight and reading some of those reports, I can definitely see how it is cyclical. Like, I do definitely feel that.
It made you start looking at it in that light.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
now,
okay.
Can I track it the same way that maybe a girl, probably not successfully,
right.
but I can definitely now feel when I'm gonna swap. Does that make sense? Like, it's almost like I can tell you.
You can see the pattern.
I'm coming into this manic, and I've learned to, because I do prefer to live unmedicated. Because most of what they try to give you is petroleum based, and I just don't trust.
Well, it's going to give you a new problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And not fix the other one.
Exactly. So I try to just cohabitate with my brain, and to do that, so I'll just cue it when I feel a manic episode coming on. I'll be like, okay, let's set up a ton of work for the next week because I'm about to be unable to sleep, but really on top of my shit. So let's do that. And then when I come out of it, I may cancel. I may only show up to gigs for a couple of weeks and not even be faking it there.
Yeah. So you've dealt with this your whole life? Or
Yeah.
do you feel like it happened after a certain... It's always been there.
It's always been there. It's always like I've been a pure D idiot from day one. Like it's just my dad used to say, when you're growing up, like your parents have no, are ignorant. 70s babies anyway.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was just eat up with a dumbass, and I couldn't remember nothing. You just eat up with a dumb, And then it's not till you get away from it wasn't until my 30s that I really started engaging with it as something that I was like, oh, okay, my whole life has been predicated on me trying to cope with this with everything that I've done has been, even down to my relationship with women and the mistakes that I made there, was all really predicated on me not knowing how to deal with myself as a person. And I think that really the main thing that I'm going to take from that is I'm going to be better at preparing my kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And not tell them they're ate up with the dumbass, but tell them like, yeah, I get it. Like this is
the dumbass you eat up with is something I gave you. So
and who knows what kind of like trauma and like psychological molding that causes dealing. All right. So you come up with this personality type where you're like, and you can't understand it. You're like, and you're in trouble all the time. Like, fucking settle down, fucking sit down and read that fucking shit I told you to read. And, it ain't fucking recess. Like, so on top of that, like you already don't understand why you feel this way.
Right.
And then you're told you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're inherently wrong and bad.
Yep.
Who you are and your urges to fucking act on anything is horrible. And we don't accept you in society, and you've got something wrong with you. And that's another thing, like the idea that you even have something wrong with you. Like that. Now, sure, it causes complications in your life, I'm sure. Sounds like it if you're like having to go and get diagnosed and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, we don't understand.
And that's the
we
only
think of everything like your brain's broke. Well,
Right.
no, because other people have it. Maybe it's just something different.
Well, and there's
It's a different, there's so many factors.
I think I saw this on one of Rogan's deals. I don't remember who it was, and it might have just been a clip. But there was a guy that was talking about how, and he's like a fringe psychologist. So this is just something that this is more of a theory that I think is cool than anything that I think. But he was talking about how some of it may go back to the fact that people with ADHD used to be the people who, because it goes back to like light sleep. He referenced a lot of stuff where. What if we used to be, it's like a reminiscent, instinctual thing where we were the guys that stayed up and watched the perimeter all night. We weren't allowed to sleep. We had to be in this heightened state all the time. That's why when I walk into a room or into a situation, like all of the data comes to me all at once. I don't necessarily process it all at once,
Right.
but my brain took a detailed picture of everything that was going on the moment that I stepped in here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll be able to sometimes have perfect recall on my new shit that I didn't even look directly at. And he was like, "That's because you were the bridge between hunter and gatherer. You were the guy that protected everybody. That's what your ancestry was." But
No, that's interesting.
that's one of those cool theories. That's a very mushroom theory, but it's cool.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It does. There has to be that archetype.
I love looking into like my ancestry and thinking about like the idea that like we are literally just copies of these people who lived before us way differently. You are literally the what's left over from survivors of fucking war, famine, fucking gnarly shit, dude. Like some hard ass people, and that's in you. Like you're genetically. There's like that theory that, was it?
Acoustic memory?
No, something resonance. One of Terrence McKenna's buddies had this theory. He's still alive. You know who Terrence McKenna is? Okay.
100%.
Fuck, dude. That's like one of my, like if I had a Mount Rushmore, he would be on it, Like I fucking love Terrence McKenna. I went through a phase where all I did was listen to fucking lectures, like about
really?
Terrence McKenna,
That's cool.
for a long time.
He's a really smart guy.
Oh my god! And some of his shit was probably total horseshit, but he was a cool philosopher.
Yeah, well, that's what philosophy is, man. That's what I was going to college for. Was cool. Philosophy. I mean, and it's 90% bullshit.
Yeah,
but it's literally the study of dealing with the human condition, and that's total bullshit
which
too.
Nobody understands.
Yeah,
so
it's different for
it's
everybody.
the study of nothing. We don't have no idea what we're fucking studying.
But it costs you $120,000 to figure that out.
Congratulations.
And they said Scientology was the first to do it. Fuck you.
He was on to something.
Yeah.
I forgot. But yeah. So one of his buddies has this theory that like basically through our genetics we pass down memories.
Right. Yeah.
You know that you see it in animals. You know, and they've done different studies that they think proves that. But yeah, I mean, you think about all that your ancestors went through, and think about the way we live is very new.
Yes.
Very fucking new. It's like
for this timeline, yeah.
Yeah. And so people lived a certain way for a long time. And so like it would make sense for survival for your children to be able to survive the way you have, that something get passed down through the lineage, you know, like, hey, watch out for a fucking snake. Shit, a snake.
Exactly. Yeah.
A baby sees a snake, freak the fuck out, has no idea what it is.
But they know it instinctively. That's bad.
Yeah. Well,
That's bad.
Rogan talks about it all the time with, you know, kids are scared of monsters, you know, big, scary fucking cats, big, scary, you know, beasts of the fucking woods, you know, that are
bigger than them.
going to eat you.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, and we see it's like, oh, calm down, little Timmy. There's no such thing as monsters. Oh, yeah, there are.
Yeah,
They're just not here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Calm down, little Timmy. I'm going to put that on this shirt.
Calm down, little Timmy.
Yeah. So you
cigarette?
no.
No, I mean, can we pause?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we
You
can.
down with that for a
Yeah.
minute?
All right, we'll just hit pause.
Now remember to hit record when we come back.
We're adding to the odds that I fucked this up.
All right, turn this all red again.
Saying my SD card is full. That's weird because I thought I cleared it. It says recording. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Well,
What I get for hitting pause, what I get for asking to hit pause.
I guess it was going to fucking kick us off anyway.
Either way.
I don't know. I guess we'll wrap it up in case we don't just sit here and talk for 30 minutes and it fucking be worth
Have nothing.
nothing. It'll be the best part of the fucking conversation.
I know
too.
it.
And it will. I know it will. Well, yeah, man. I'll definitely get you back in here. We'll when
Come
you're
play.
Yeah, you can play.
I was gonna ask. You think I could bring my drummer? How many inputs do you have over there? Do you have 2 extra?
Yeah, I have 2 extra.
Cool, if you want to.
You got drummer. Yeah.
His little cajon. I'll just bring his cajon. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be
I hadn't
cool.
done that with him on a podcast yet. That make him feel special.
Well, and that's what I was thinking is like I haven't done that and I haven't seen anyone locally doing that. So I think it would be cool. You know, I'm constantly like trying to innovate.
Amen.
You know, I mean,
Gotta stay on top.
like I don't expect to become Rogan, but I would like this to it be something a substantial following.
Right.
You know?
Amen.
And you know, and it kind of doubles as marketing for me, you know,
For sure.
with tattooing.
100%.
But I've said it a million times on the podcast. The main reason I do this is for this right here. Like it's a excuse to sit down and talk. Like me and you, we haven't seen each other in fucking 20 years.
Yeah, really.
And so like I might would have reached out to you like I did and like, hey man, fuck, you remember me? But never would I be like, hey, you want to come to the house, just sit here and we'll talk, stare into each other's eyes and talk about Donald Trump and the fucking shit of the world. Like that never would happen.
Right.
So it's an excuse, but and it's
appreciate
cool.
it.
Like I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
you're doing cool shit, man. Like that's what was cool to me was to see like I don't remember. Did I tell you that like I swear to God, it was the weirdest fucking thing. I was just going to work one day, and in my head I thought, I wonder where Chace Rains is. Fuck, I haven't thought about that guy in forever. 2 days later, you pop up on my Facebook. No, you didn't. Fucking Hochatown Saloon was marketing your show. I was like, what?
Oh, that's what he's doing?
Actual fuck. Dude, I was like, I called my sister immediately. I was
That's
like,
a bitch.
listen to this shit. And she was like, she was like, wait, who? And I was like, you remember he lived across the street? And she was like,
Oh,
what's his name? She was like, oh my God, me and Steven have seen him like twice at Fat Jack's, and I didn't even know that was him. And I was
Is that
like,
your little sister?
no, my older
Your
sister.
older sister, Heather, right?
Heather, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How's she doing good?
Yeah, she's good. They just bought a house a few months ago. Like,
How's
yeah.
your little sister? I don't remember her name. She was real young.
Yeah, Haley.
Haley, that's what I thought it was.
She's 2 years younger than me. But yeah, man, this was fun.
It was.
Well, you definitely have to come back and bring your drummer and we'll play.
That sounds cool as well. Okay, cool. Hell yeah. I'll get with you. We'll try. What about November? I'm trying to do it quick.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm always down. I'm always looking for somebody to do one because like I said, I was doing just tattoo artists and the pull around here dried up quick. You know,
Right.
at least people I want to interview. And so I'm having some success. I just did one with a guy that's in Denton, Texas, and very interesting guy. You should go watch it. It's fucking.
I will.
He's goth and he's like dressed in full makeup and shit. It was wild.
Hell yeah.
But it got the most views of any of them I've had. It's like 1,000 views now. You know,
Damn,
nothing
hell
crazy,
yeah.
but
That's still cool.
yeah, dude, it was cool to
I don't
watch.
have
He's
any
got a
videos
cult
that have done
feeling. He's got a cult following. So, and then tomorrow, the guy that did this tattoo, Drew Wilson, he's out of Russellville.
Is that a gar?
It's a gar head with mushrooms growing
on
out.
it. I thought it was a gar. That's cool as fuck.
He's got a even bigger following. He specializes in like trout fishing, traditional style tattoos
Okay.
because he's a big trout fisherman.
Yeah.
So once again with the niche thing.
Yeah,
like,
there's Sailor Jerry's, but trout fishing.
yeah.
That's
And
tight.
he's badass, dude. But I'm going tomorrow to Russellville to interview him.
Pastel backgrounds and shit on the trout. Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
that
no,
is
it's hard.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't have any, but I'm into it.
So I'm like branching out to, and that's my goal. That's like I want to get some bigger name people,
Yeah,
you
hell
know,
yeah.
that I already want to meet and do an interview with them. And I feel like I'm just climbing the ladder, you know.
Hell
But
yeah.
but I've ran out of tattooers, and also I have other interests, you know.
Yeah.
So and so it just kind of so happened. I love fucking. I was big into red dirt music. You know, when it was a big thing. Me
Yeah,
and
when it-
Heather
when it
were-
mattered, yeah.
We went to all the shows, dude. Texas Mardi Gras every year. Fucking the one they do in Nacogdoches. I mean, dude, we lived for those concerts. But that shit's kind of dried up now.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I
But
agree.
I love what is going on. Like there is some cool music going on.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's some cool stuff going on. And even outside of music, I've got some people, you know, if you don't mind me sending you some suggestions, I got some folks you could be.
Yeah, no.
you know what I mean? In fact, my old lady's tattoo artist, if you're looking for more, if you want another tattoo artist,
Okay.
there's a guy in Mount Pleasant, Nathan Harris.
Okay.
999 Fine, I think is what it. He's done all of Amore's work, and it's great. He's a seasoned good guy. He's, you know.
What styles he do?
I don't know. I'm not educated enough to tell you.
Is it like black and gray?
It is all black.
Yeah.
It's all line work.
Is it
Yeah, he doesn't
real-
do any
oh,
color.
line work, okay.
Like all, she's got a lot of mandalas. She has
Okay.
a full sleeve,
It's like geometric kind of
bunch of
shit.
geometric stuff. But then he also like he did an alligator head on her.
Yeah.
It was still Amore likes black and white. I think he does do color. He does really clean work.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
His apprentice is working on her now. She's got like her sleeve up here on her arm is like one continuous sleeve, but then her leg she's kind of doing a patchwork.
Patchwork,
thing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? She's got some cool ones. She's got one on her knee. It says above knee, and then below her knee it says baloney. Just the word baloney.
I've got something like that on the first tattoo I ever did on myself. My mentor was like, I have to pick the first tattoo you ever do. And I was like, okay. He was like, an infinity symbol. I was like, fuck, dude, that's fucking lame.
Most white girl tattoo ever.
And he shows me his iPad, and it was the words infinity symbol and like traditional lettering. I was like, okay, that's funny. That's cool. It's kind of like an inside joke. But yeah, man. No, I always
Chinese letters for hope.
your name.
Hey, Amore has that one too on her butt cheek in script. It just
Hell
says so
yeah.
at the bar. She's like, "No, I got your name tattooed on my ass." Really? Idiot. I love her.
Well, she sounds fun.
She's a dumbass.
But yeah,
Anyway.
we'll do it again, and we'll
Amen.
get you to play in here. So, you got any anything you want to plug that's coming up?
Yes. Okay. And I meant to plug this earlier. I don't have any shows that I want to plug. I'm coming to the end of my season. I'm booked out through October, and then I'm done after that. But we have this thing that we're setting up called the Greater East Texas Musicians Fund, and we're doing a Gamma membership through January, and then in January we're going to launch a beta. But it's basically a union for musicians in the Greater East Texas area. We're going to help them with representation as far as having contracts for them to give to bars and places like that, and then helping them back up those contracts. We're going to we hope to in year 2 and 3 have enough funds to have a healthcare subsidy, and I think what we're looking at that is going to small private practices already and paying them a stipend for a certain amount of visits for a card carrying member.
Yeah.
We're also we have a path for growth from apprentice to master on the musician. That includes DJs. When we talk about musicians, we mean that in every capacity, from an R&B artist that's singing to a backing track to a church choral singer. We have a path from apprentice to master that we're going to institute, so that way over time, not only will we become a ticket reporting source for everyone, which was our main goal, we'll also become a source of tenured musicians and tenure in the trade to help redefine being a working musician as a job. And have some ways to back that up. So anyway,
Doing big things.
Yeah, that's going to
cool.
be, that's my main concentration. I'm taking off November, December, January, and February to stand this up and get it done right. We're doing some shows next year. It really all started. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be quick.
No, you're good.
It started because as like me and Heather Lynn and Lane Bricker is one of my buddies that I talk to a lot.
I saw he was on my buddy Joe Teal.
I love
podcast.
Lane. That's somebody you would like, Lane. He's a hardworking kid. We're all coming up against this wall as we try to break these bigger markets where they want this ticket sale history that we can't accrue because there aren't ticketed venues, that we live in a desert.
Right.
But at the same time, we also, like Lane, living in Texarkana, playing Paris, playing Tyler, playing Houston, is like a guy living in Rockwall, playing everywhere across Dallas. Well, the guy in Rockwall gets to enjoy being part of the Dallas scene. Lane doesn't get to enjoy that because there's not an East Texas scene. We can change that very easily, and we want to change it, and that's what we're going to start trying to do is
cool.
legitimize us and legitimize it as a trade, because, I put in upwards of 60 hours a week in music, and I'll have 14 hours of stage time in 3 days. That's a lot. It's a lot of work, and it doesn't get recognized as that as often as it should. Other tattoo artists, stuff like, you guys recognize it, but I think that if we start a system like this, other trades will follow too. We'll create a new way, a path to being a loose organization, a loose union.
Right.
And that's going to be, I think, very important over the next decade.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this area is growing, and it's good for the community. Like, I would love for us to have like a substantial scene,
Right.
where.
And I think we can promote that. Like, again, something else, Moray being so involved in the tattoo section too, and I have friends, like BT and them that are in the cars. We're seeing this intersection where we can have a 3-day expo where we're doing cars, tattoos, and music all at the same time. It all comes together in this one Venn diagram.
Yeah.
We just need to build, set it up correctly so we can all benefit correctly for it.
Yeah. No, I'm totally down for that. Yeah. That's another thing this podcast lets me do is like collaborate with people that aren't just tattooers, because, we can sit around and bitch about how boring it is here, or we can make this place not fucking boring.
That's right. Amen.
Amen. Like, we don't have to move to Dallas. We'll make this
we can do it here.
Our Dallas.
That's right. We just need a reason for everybody to come up here. We just have to be better at what we're doing.
Yeah. And get people excited about, trying new shit and fucking
going to an EDM night, spending some money. Like,
do
come
a little
on, baby.
toot.
That's right. It ain't gonna hurt
I'm just
you
kidding.
now. Yeah. Don't
kidding,
be rude.
kinda.
I already offered. Like,
Unless you've got some. All right, Chace, man. This is awesome.
hell yeah. Adios.